hi there. So, what are we talking about today? Let's see. Anything groundbreaking, earth-shattering? Yes, let's look at doors. Well, not just doors, but door decorations that we have available in Animal Crossing New Horizons. But don't tempt me, I might just talk about doors in the video. There are definitely some doors that someone should talk about. But let's stick with the door decorations for now. If this isn't the riveting content that you subscribed for, then I don't know what is. You may think the door decorations are not that interesting, but here I am to convince you otherwise. While I was working on my second museum, I thought about which door decoration to use. And finally I stumbled on the perfect one that I didn't even know existed before. This fossil door plate is actually a different color variant of this one. And this is why I thought, why not take a look at all of the different decorations and variations, so you know all of the various options to choose from to decorate your own doors or the doors of your villagers. I have to separate them into different sections and chapters. First we have the biggest category, and that is the flower door decorations, or flower wreaths. To get flower wreaths you need to find the DIY recipes. And you do get them randomly from bottles on the beach, balloons and crafting villagers. The easiest way to verify if you have all of them is to remember that there are 8 different flowers that you can plant and propagate. Each of these flowers has 3 different door wreath DIYs, besides the rose that has 5. But let's go through them all, one by one. First we have the windflower wreath. It is made with red, white and orange windflowers. Next we have the cool windflower wreath that is made of blue, pink and white windflowers. And the third one is the chic windflower wreath that is made out of 10 purple windflowers. I don't mind the windflower wreaths, but I do not like all of the color combinations. If I would have to choose one, I think that the purple windflower wreath is the most beautiful. And instead of the orange and red and blue and pink color combinations, I would like to see a completely orange one or a white and pink one. I think that would look nicer. Moving on to the mum wreaths. Here we have the mum wreath that is made out of white, yellow and red mums. Then the fancy mum wreath that is made out of red, pink and purple mums. And the natural mum wreath that is made out of only green mums. I must say that I do like all of these. I like all of the mum wreaths. I think the mum is a very beautiful flower. The color combinations are nice and fitting. I did use the fancy mum wreath for quite a long time on my door, and I think the natural mum wreath is very special. It is the only green flower wreath that we have in the game. Green mums are very special anyhow, being the only green flower variant that we have. So I'm happy that we got a wreath option for that. Now let's take a look at the cosmos wreaths. Here we have the cosmos wreath that is made out of red, yellow and white cosmos. The pretty cosmos wreath is made out of pink, red and orange flowers. And the chic cosmos wreath that is made out of 10 black cosmos. Looking at all of these, I think the black cosmos one is definitely my favorite. It has a nice dark red tone to it. I think it looks a little Christmassy, but in a very nice way. But the other ones aren't too bad either. I like that the flowers are placed symmetrically and they look quite springy. Looking at the next flower, we have the tulip. The tulip wreath is made out of white, yellow and red tulips. The pretty tulip wreath is made out of orange, pink and purple tulips. And the dark tulip wreath is made only out of dark tulips. Not much to say here, I think they look all very nice. If I had to choose one of the 3, I think the pretty tulip wreath looks the best to me. I like the flow of the colors going from the dark purple to the pink to the orange, and the little flowers also match very well. So now we come to the rose wreaths. As I said before, we have 5 here because we have 2 special rose color variations. First we have the rose wreath that is made out of white, red and yellow roses. Then the fancy rose wreath that is made out of yellow, pink and orange roses. Next we have the dark rose wreath that is made out of black and purple roses. And for the 2 special wreaths we have the blue rose wreath made only out of blue roses. and a gold rose wreath made only out of gold roses. I think it's a nice selection. If I had to choose one, I would probably go for the fancy rose wreath. It goes well for the spring, and I think the colors match very well with each other. And I also like the blue rose wreath, of course, since only a few months ago I got my very first blue rose after 2 years of trying. So I'm proudly presenting my blue rose wreath on my house at the moment. I don't know if I like the dark rose wreath. I think the black rose in the middle looks crusty, like it has been out in the sun too long, and it's a bit distracting for me. So if I could choose, I would probably put a white rose in place of the dark rose, or a pink rose. Moving on to the next flower, and we have the pansy. The pansy wreath has yellow, white and red pansies. The snazzy pansy wreath has orange, blue and yellow pansies. And the cool pansy wreath has 10 purple pansies. I like all of them. I like how we get 5 flowers in each wreath, which makes it look so much fuller and nicer. Like I would use any of them. I think I like the snazzy snazzy pants. I think I like the snazzy pansy wreath the most. I think the colors just look so homey and wholesome. Next, let's have a look at the hyacinth wreaths. For the hyacinth wreath, we need white, red and yellow hyacinths. For the cool hyacinth wreath, we have orange, blue and pink hyacinths. And the purple hyacinth wreath needs 10 purple hyacinths. I don't know why, but I think these are the flower wreaths that I like the least of all. I just don't like the execution. I think it would have been nicer if they just used the same method as with the other wreaths, just using 3 flowers and putting them together instead of melting them all together somehow in this shape. It's not for me personally, but I don't look bad, like I might still use them sometimes. I like the colors of the hyacinth wreath and I like the purple one, but I think the cool hyacinth wreath has too much going on for me. And last but not least, we have the lily wreaths. For the lily wreath, we need white, red and yellow lilies. For the fancy lily wreath, we need orange, pink and yellow lilies. And the dark lily wreath has only black lilies. I think they look quite nice. All of them have very happy and nice colors. I like the leaves. I also like the dark variant. If I had to choose one, I would probably pick the dark variant. I think that looks the most interesting. Or the lily wreath one. That also looks nice. Getting all of the flower wreath DIYs can be frustrating since it is so random, just like the flower crowns. And you will get a lot of duplicates as well. So if you ask yourself how I got all of them, I did trade the last missing ones on Nookazon. I enjoy collecting stuff myself, but with something as random as this, I think it is totally okay to trade, because otherwise there is no guarantee that you will ever get them all. For the next category, we have the seasonal door decorations. They are perfect if you enjoy to redecorate your island depending on the season. So let's take a look at them. For the first seasonal door decoration, I want to look at the Bunny Day wreath. I think it is very well executed. I think most of the Bunny Day items are so well made and underrated, but I also have to admit that I rarely use them. I think it's because they are just so seasonal, and after decorating for Halloween and decorating for Christmas, I'm usually in a decorating low, I guess. So until I have the motivation to decorate again, Easter has usually passed and then I just don't use the items anymore. But I think they are very pretty. I like the pastel colors, and for the Bunny Day wreath specifically, I think it looks amazing, just as you would want a Bunny Day wreath to look. I don't have anything bad to say about it. If you want this wreath, you need to get a DIY, and you can get that during the Bunny Day event from March 22nd until April 25th. Next, I want to take a look at the Shamrock door plate. This is a door plate to celebrate the St. Patrick's Day, and you can buy it at Nook Shopping in the seasonal section. Not much to say about it. I think it looks nice. I don't know if I would use it. In case you don't know, it has a writing in Gaelish on top of it, and it says welcome. As said, you can get that from Nook Shopping, but only from March 10th until March 17th. Now, looking at the summer door plate, I want to take a look at the shell wreath. This is a DIY that you can get from bottles on the beach, from balloons, and I would say that this is a summer wreath because you do need summer shells to craft it. I like all of the different shells on it and the sea stars. I would have preferred to have other options, like you do not have other color options with this one, but it still looks very nice and beachy, summery. I think it's a great door plate if you want to put a villager's house on the beach permanently. I think this door plate would fit that very well. After summer is over, we're going more into the autumn, fall season, and here is one of my favorite door wreaths, the mushroom wreath. If you want to craft this, you can get the DIY during the mushroom season, and I think it's just great. I mean, it's everything that you would want from a mushroom wreath. It looks whimsical, foresty, great for someone living in the forest, or maybe someone more witchy, someone brewing potions. It's definitely one of my favorite wreaths. And this is the only door decoration for this season. I just had to double check it because I thought there was maybe another maple one or a spooky one, but there isn't. So we go to the next season, we go to winter. For winter we do have more options. First we have the festive wreath. This is special because you only get one gifted per year, and in my opinion I think it's the best Christmas door decoration. I like the little bell and the bow on top of it, but I do wish you could customize it. But if you want a door decoration that you can customize, you can also get the ornament wreath. If you want to craft this, the DIY can be obtained during the festive season. And as I said, the great thing about it is that it is customizable. So you do have 8 different options for this wreath. So you could technically almost give every one of your villagers a different kind of ornament wreath. Well, at least 8 of them, but then you can give one the other wreath and there is another wreath coming. So it is possible to give each villager that you have a different Christmas wreath for their door. I also used this during my 30-day Christmas Island challenge. I did repeat, I think, 2 color options of this ornament wreath for 2 villagers, but I did also use all of the different colors, and I was so happy that I had that option. The last winter door decoration would be the snowflake wreath. If you want this door plate, you have to get the DIY from one of the snowmen during winter, which is obtained by making a perfect snowman. I think it's nice for winter. You can also leave it on after Christmas. Looks great with the snow. I wish we would have different color options. And for the last season in this category, we have New Year's. For New Year's, we do have 2 different door plates. First, we have this New Year's wreath. It can be obtained by Nook's shopping seasonal section during December 22nd until January the 5th. I think it's a great door plate. I do use that door plate with one of my villagers. Chief has that door plate as a permanent door plate. If we're looking at the size, it is also bigger than a lot of the other door plates. So that is a nice alternative. And for the second New Year's door decoration, we have the Lunar New Year decoration. That is also available on Nook's shopping seasonal, but not at the same time as the other one. This one is available at the beginning of February. I do have to say I never used that before, mostly because I did not know what the writing on it said, so I did not just want to hang something up without knowing what it means. But because of this video, I did have a look at the meaning. It is the symbol for good luck in Chinese, but it is upside down. And as far as I read on the internet, if it is upside down in Chinese, it means that good luck is here. So a lot of people will use this upside down to wish for good luck or to project good luck onto them, or other values as wealth or health. But as I said, I'm not an expert, so this is just what I read on the internet. These were all of the seasonal decorations. For our next category, let's take a look at all of the door plates that have the word welcome on them. I love to use them if I decided to give my villagers a shop inside their home. I don't think I ever used them on my own home because I don't enjoy the unannounced villager visits. I don't think a lot of you will enjoy those visits either. But if you want to give your villagers a shop inside, or if you want to give them a welcome door plate, then this selection could be interesting for you. As I think now, I probably should have included the shamrock one here, since it says welcome in another language, but for me it is more of a seasonal door plate that I would not use all of the time. Our first welcome door plate would be the bone door plate. You can get this by crafting the DIY, and you can get the DIY randomly from bottles on the beach, balloons and so on. I think this is a great welcome door plate, and because it's in the shape of a bone and it has a lot of swatches, it is a must-have if you want to make a dog island. Next we have the skull door plate. That looks more like a pirate door plate with the word welcome at the bottom of it. This is a door plate that you can randomly find at Nook's Cranny, and it does have 2 swatches. I think it's great if you want to have a pirate interior to get this as a door plate, or if you just want to give it to your grumpy that doesn't want to have visitors but also has a welcome door plate. I don't know. You have to think this through better than I did. As always, more color options would have been nice, but I am still happy that we got this as an option. The next welcome door plate would be the heart door plate. Again, we have a lot of different color options here. It is quite a small door plate and you can't necessarily read the word welcome that easily, but it's still a welcome door plate. I think it's cute. Not my favorite, but cute. And this is another door plate that you can find randomly at Nook's Cranny, so keep your eyes peeled for it if you want it. For the next one, we do have kind of a spooky door plate. It is called the spider door plate. I know I said earlier that we do not have any Halloween or spooky door plates, but if you want, you could count this as kind of a spooky door plate, even though you do not get it during spooky season. And there are a ton of options color-wise. If you wonder how you can get this door plate, as I said, it's not from the spooky season, it's not from the acorn or maple or mushroom season, it's actually from Flick. If you participate in the Bug-Off event and collect points, then you can redeem this spider door plate as a reward from Flick. And it is also fitting since he is so much into bugs. Next we have one of my favorite welcome door plates, and that is the timber door plate. You can get this by crafting the DIY, and you do get a DIY randomly from balloons, puddles on the beach and so on. As the other ones, it does have a ton of swatches. I think all of them look nice. And it's perfect if you want to give your villager a little shop. Could be a coffee shop, a plant shop, anything really. It fits all of the occasions. You can read it. It's not that big, but not too small either. I think it's just a perfect welcome door plate. And we have one last option for welcome door plates, and that would be the nuptial door plate. You can acquire this door plate in the Nook seasonal shopping section during June, since it refers to the wedding of Cyrus and Wreaths. And the interesting part here is that you have different kind of customizations. You can customize outside, but you can also customize the writing inside separately, which is great, and I wish they would have done that for the other plates as well, but well, at least we have one. I don't know if I would use it. I think it's a bit too romantic for me, but if you have a pink villager that likes a lot of pink stuff, or a romantic villager, I think it could work great. Now moving on, and for the last category we have the miscellaneous door decorations. So everything that I didn't mention until now, I have compiled it here in the last category, so we can talk about absolutely every door decoration that there is in the game. First we have the fish door plate. This is a door plate that you can get if you participate in CJ's fishing tourneys. So as before with the Flick door plate, you just have to collect points and then redeem rewards and you can get this fish door plate. And the great thing about it is that it has a ton of different swatches. So the first thing that comes to mind for me would of course be an all cats island. Give every cat a different fish door plate. I think that would be very fitting. Next we have the iron door plate. You can get this by crafting the DIY that you get randomly, as you get most of the DIYs in the game. This also has a lot of different swatches. I tried to use it before, but somehow it just... well, it's nice if you have a simple door, then it can give some more details. Because I think it doesn't necessarily look like a door plate, it looks more like part of the door. Or I personally could imagine using it inside of a house, just at the wall, maybe above some shoes, above a coat hanger, because it also looks like you could just put your coat on it. Next we have the crest door plate. This is another one where you just randomly find a DIY and can craft it. And if you're working on a medieval island, this is a must-have for your villager doors. There are also some swatches, I think about 6 in total. So imagine just taking different swatches as different houses, maybe putting your villagers in those different houses and then giving them the corresponding door plate for that, so they can show their allegiance to the house. Just looking at this door plate also gives me so many ideas for that. And I'm not even planning on making a medieval island. But if you're planning to make one, please keep the door plate in mind. For the next one we have the fossil door plate. As before, you craft it from a DIY that you get randomly, and And as I said at the beginning of the video, I did discover this door plate for myself to use at my second museum because it has such a nice second swatch that looks more like a fossil icon than the first swatch. So if maybe I got you on the track to make a second museum after watching my video, feel free to take this one. I think it's great. Or if you want to give it a villager that is very much into fossils, archaeology, or lives beside a museum because they are such a fan of visiting it. For the next door plate we have the horseshoe door decoration. This one is interesting because you get it from Katrina. You know, when you go to Katrina and you want to know your luck and she says that you have bad luck and then you can pay her a certain amount of money and she will send you something in the mail. Yeah, this is one of the things that can arrive in your mail after doing that. It is supposed to be a cleansed door plate that will give you good luck. I think the interesting thing here is that it's not necessarily an exclusive item. Yes, you can only get it from Katrina, but once you have it, you can order it again in the Nook shopping app, which I did not know before I made this video. I thought it was just an exclusive item you can only get from Katrina and from no one else. Like, without saying, of course, this is great if you have a horse villager, or if you like horses, or if you just want a lucky door plate, or if you have a farm type island, cottagecore. For the next door plate we have the paw print door plate. As said before, you get the DIY randomly and then you can craft it. It has a lot of different swatches. I like paws a lot. I think it looks very cute. You can get it for dogs, cats, or any animal that you want. It definitely looks like a DIY door plate to me, but it's still charming and I think I would use it. I don't think I use it at the moment, but I definitely would use it if I had the right villager. Another interesting door plate that is probably not that well known is the Nook Ink door plate. The only way to get this door plate is by using Nook Link. You can use Nook Link by getting the Nintendo Online app on your phone, opening it once a day, collecting your points, and once you have enough points you can redeem it and it will be sent to your mailbox. If you want more information on that, I did mention this one and other items that you can redeem in Nook Link in my video how to get every possible item in Animal Crossing New Horizons. So check that out if you want more information on that. Now let's take a look at a tree branch wreath. Another DIY that you can get randomly. This is definitely a more simple door decoration that is kind of giving me forest witch vibes. Or that could generally fit well if you have a forest island. I do like the little leaf detail on the upper right side. If I remember correctly, I did use this wreath when I started my island, because this was the first or one of the first door decoration DIYs that I got. But eventually it was just a bit too basic for me, so I changed it. Next we have the fruit wreath. You can get this DIY from villagers or randomly. A beautiful door decoration if you have a farm style house or a lot of fruit trees around your house. You do need every type of fruit to be able to craft this wreath, but it does look amazing. I do think that most of the DIYs that include every fruit look extra colorful, like the infused water dispenser. I was so excited when I finally got a DIY for that. But anyhow, on to the next door plate. Another unique door wreath would be the glowing moss wreath. You have a chance to find the recipe on Captain's Boat Tour or on the Happy Home Paradise Island if you have the DLC. In my opinion, this is an underrated door decoration because it does glow in the dark, so I think that is always a plus. There are a ton of different colors. I like to use the white, red and blue for Christmas decorations, and the green, yellow and pink could go well for spring decorations, since the wreath also kind of looks like a giant flower. And last but not least, we have the ship wheel door decoration. That is also an interesting one. When I first saw it, I thought you would get it from Gulliver or Gulliver, but it turns out it is a Nook Shopping seasonal item that you can get from the Nook Shopping app in the month of July. So look out for it if you want it. This is another great door decoration if you have a villager house on the beach, or if just one of your villagers is very into ships. You can complement it by a lot of Gulliver's items that you get through the mail, or you could even use it on your museum if you display a lot of Gulliver's items. I think it will also work for a second museum if you want to display a lot of seasonal items or Gulliver reward items. And yeah, these are all of the different door plates. I still want to give you some more information about them while I show you in the back what all of the door decorations look like on Ione's house, besides the purple windflower one that I forgot. But while I'm showing you all of these door decorations, let's go through some additional information that might be useful for you. If you want to decorate your villagers' doors, you can of course just gift your villagers the door decorations in person. But what I do and what I think is more convenient is to just decorate your villager's house and interior. The only thing here is that if you want to have the option to do that, then you need the DLC. In my opinion, it's totally worth it, but if you don't want it or you don't have access to it, you can, as said before, just gift your villagers the wreaths in person. But it might take one day until you see it on their doors. Another important point is that all of the door decorations that I mentioned can also be used as simple wall decorations inside your house or your villagers' houses. So maybe you want to decorate your own house with only one shop inside, with just one room as a shop, then you can just use one of the welcome door plates, put it above the door of that one room and call it a day. So you do not necessarily need to put it on the front door, you can use it wherever you like, as long as you have a wall. Something else to keep in mind is if you do have the DLC and you are looking for a door wreath but you cannot find it in the options, the two most likely options as to why you cannot find it is first because you do not have the recipe for it, or because you have never crafted it before or never had it in your inventory. As I said before, you see all of these different door decorations now, but I missed one, the purple windflower one, because I only have 2 purple windflowers on my whole island, and you need I think 9 or 10 to craft a windflower wreath. So I had to wait a lot of days to pluck the flowers, let them regrow again, pluck them again, and so on. So I did forget to craft the purple windflower wreath before I did record the footage of the other wreaths. But once I did craft it, it appeared in my selection for every single villager home. So just keep that in mind. If something is missing and you say but you have the recipe but it's still not there, probably because you never crafted it or never had it in your inventory. Okay, well, I have been talking about doors for a long time now, and I hope that was interesting for you. Maybe you didn't know all of the different door decorations or all of the different color swatches for them. Please let me know in the comments if I could help you to discover something new in the game. Also let me know what are your go-to door decorations for yourself or for your villagers. I tend to change my own door decoration seasonally, but for my villagers, once I find one that I like for them, I usually don't change it again. I just leave it all year round for them. But let me know how you are doing it. Do you even use the door decorations? I mean, maybe they're not even that important to you, but if you watched until the end, you might find them interesting now. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a lot of fun playing on your islands. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I hope you have a great day.